Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome this Thursday. It is Jobs Thursday. We'll talk about that as well as yesterday. We landed flatly in red across all the different indexes. We'll mention that and more when Dave joins us here in just a few seconds. Hey, before we do that, though, let's not forget that in this world we live in, there are so many things that are outside of our control. But you can take control of your investment portfolio and your retirement portfolio by knowing the amount of risk you have in that portfolio and making sure that it really matches up with the amount of risk you should have in your portfolio based on your current circumstances and how close you are to retirement. That's why I developed the core retirement design. Give me a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. Hey, with that, we got Dave coming up next.
105.7 Light FM, them be the police there. Good morning. I am Morning Dave, and we're at 8:42 here, 18 before 9. Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation. And, of course, the advisor we recommend is Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring, who is on the phone right now to give us that general advice that we're talking about here every morning. How is your IRA doing? Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey man, I'm doing well after we get dropped off yesterday. Just like yes, they didn't want us to be talking about the markets yesterday.
Yeah, gosh, you'd almost think we were talking politics or something. Everything all of a sudden went dead in the middle of it. The problem is my internet went down too, so I couldn't do the updates like I usually do. Just everything went south, and 3 minutes later it went back again. I have no idea. While I've got everything hooked up, here I go. Yesterday was I hesitate to say bloodbath, but it was downright ugly yesterday. The Dow was down 410 points. Standard & Poor's was down 53.7, and the king of the losers yesterday, unless you've got a better number on the Russell 2000, was the NASDAQ. It was down 1.6%, fell by 296 points. It was just owly yesterday. How did the Russell do anyway? I don't have
The
that on my
Russell
regular.
was Russell was down about 0.8%, so not as bad as the Nasdaq.
Okay. There's a little bit of a shift in the direction of those small cap stocks at the moment. It's holding up a little bit better. Tidbit item, and it gives us a chance to pontificate a little bit. We always talk about the Standard & Poor's being the bellwether index that you want to use to find out how blue chip stocks are doing. One of the things I was reading is that McDonald's travails with their quarter pounders in 7 states ended up with their loss yesterday, contributed like 100 points to the Dow's loss. Now, McDonald's didn't lose 100 points, but because the Dow is a price-weighted index, one of those 30 components losing their shirt in one day can really make an index look screwball, can't it?
It really can, and that just goes to show, when you look at a price weighted index, what it can do with one outlier, ends up giving you some issues. Now, it could have also been because I noticed this morning, and I don't know exactly when this hit the news wire, but Boeing's machinist union rejected the offer.
I was going
So
to say, I know that had something to do with it yesterday evening. Boeing's union said no. The union leadership that had recommended passage of the contract went, huh? And then said, well, we're still on strike. We'll go back to work. I'm not 100% sure if I was a machinist, unionized machinist at Boeing, that I'd feel all that terribly good having union leadership that already told me I ought to accept this contract. I told them to go fish, and they're going back now to negotiate with the boss. This doesn't have good signs for a short settlement, does it?
no, no, I mean initially I think I read that they expect at least 5 more weeks of strike.
Oh, geez. Yeah, Boeing stock, it's safe to guess, is probably not faring real well this morning in pre-market trading. Another thing that probably didn't help yesterday, you mentioned that the existing home sales number that we got yesterday morning, mid-morning, was about what was expected before we went on the air. But I do notice that it comes down to it plummets to a 14-year low in existing home sales. That can't help the market in general.
No, I bet not. And you got to wonder, Dave, is that because there's no inventory? Are they not building enough houses fast enough? Or is it just interest rates are just so high that people are just going to stay put right now?
I got to believe it's probably a combination of them. I mean, we're going to get new home sales later on today, and that'll tell us what the inventory is like. Existing homes, my local guys tell me that if you've got a home in the segment of the market that's moving real hot at the moment, and for the moment it tends toward being the smaller, more entry level homes, they move like, selling them like chiclets. Now, with an ingress, and I've been predicting this for a while now, ever since the hurricane, I got to believe we're going to have another stock of people coming in from the coast with a fair chunk of money in their wallets. I expect the mid and the larger size homes will get to be the hot size around here. But if you're in the market niche that's selling well, it goes quickly. But the uptick in interest rates on mortgages for the last 3 weeks, that has not been good for home sales at all, has it?
No, it really hasn't because we have seen interest rates go up as we've seen the 30-year Treasury move up as well.
Absolutely. I should make note of the fact that while we were belittling the Dow and the Nasdaq's price-weighted policy, it wasn't a good day for the broader market either. The Standard and Poor's is now starting out the morning under 5,800, and we were kind of getting spoiled in those nosebleed levels for a little while. So it was not a good day overall for Wall Street yesterday, and a lot of it was unique stories like Boeing, like McDonald's, and the like that dragged us down because we had some disappointments on earnings season, but nothing really that makes you fall out of bed, at least that I've heard you talk about so far.
No, and I think it was probably a combination, right, of a lot of. I mean, if we looked yesterday, a lot of what we talked about yesterday before we got blown off the air was a lot of misses,
Yeah.
and so that I think that weighed down on the indexes yesterday.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, they're misses from relatively modest expectations because the expectations for this quarter's P&L numbers is not really aggressive. I mean, they aren't expecting they're not expecting the S&P 500 to grow by 25% on PE or anything like that at the moment.
No, that's right, and we got a pile of earnings today, Dave. A pile.
And we get to start out with really, really good news for investors that got Tesla stock, huh?
Absolutely. Tesla has been in and out of the doghouse the last year or so. They are out today for sure. They beat on earnings substantially, came in at 72 cents a share versus 58. Now, they did miss on revenue by just a little bit, but obviously not enough to affect their stock price because they're trading up today right now 14%. I will tell you this, and I really, I guess I haven't read enough of their reports, but I found this interesting. Their profit margins were bolstered by a $739 million in what they call automotive regulatory credit revenue. And what that
Well,
means is, all these automobile companies have to have a certain amount of, I think, carbon credits basically. And
hmm
so Tesla, because they manufacture electronic vehicles, they have an abundance of them that they can sell to these other companies. And so they sold $739 million worth of credits to these other companies. And so that was a big boost for them.
we were giggling about that stuff during the time that Gore was running for president, buying and selling carbon credits instead of actually conserving the environment. Just buy some credits from somebody that's doing a better job than you are. I didn't even know that was still a thing.
Oh yeah, I guess automotive industry still being held to that standard. And so yeah.
Evidently. I did note one other thing on the Tesla report. They had some substantial growth on their battery business. And that really, I mean, okay, the cars are the glamour part of Tesla, but they're also a major EV battery supplier and battery backup for your home, too. If you got a solar system, you probably have a Tesla battery, at least that was an option on it. So that's the less glamorous part of it, but I suspect long term, that's the long term health that's pretty secure for Tesla.
Yeah, I think so. And that's really, if you look at them, they're an electronic vehicle company, but they're really a battery company.
Absolutely.
When
It's,
you
it's
when you
like we
look at
think
it.
about Amazon as a retailer. In reality, what they are is they're a monster cloud supplier, and sometimes there's more money in that than there is in their retail. Ditto for Tesla and batteries.
Yep. So then let's
Other
move
in,
on to United Parcel,
yeah,
UPS, the guys in
yeah.
brown. And they had a good quarter as well. They beat by about 13 cents a share, came in at $1.76. Revenue was slightly above expectations. And so they beat, they're up 9% this morning. A lot of good numbers today, Dave, which kind of helps offset yesterday, right?
Oh, really?
So then we had T-Mobile reported. T-Mobile, they also beat by not quite 20 cents a share at $2.61 a share. Revenue was ahead of expectations as well. They're up 2%. We always make fun of Mattel. And
Sure.
so we got Mattel reported, and they came in at, man, almost double. No, I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. They came in at $1.14. They're expected to
Ooh,
come in at 95 cents a share. They did miss on quarterly revenue by just a little bit, but not enough to affect their stock. They're up 3.6%.
must be that new
Um,
Arnold Schwarzenegger Barbie doll or something.
hey, we had two airlines reported,
Hmm.
Southwest and American. Southwest, they uh, they earned 15 cents a share, which was basically break even, but that was what was expected. Revenue was up a little bit. And so they were up earlier this morning, but they are actually down right now, Dave. They're down 2% this morning.
I think that's because they announced some new board members as well in that, and evidently the investors aren't tickled with turnover.
Gotcha, gotcha. And then American Airlines, they were trading down earlier this morning as well. They topped third quarter estimates, so I'm not sure what's causing theirs, but they're down about 1% right now.
There might be just some stinking thinking on the future of travel as well. Resetting the table this morning, a really unpleasant day on Wall Street yesterday between Boeing and McDonald's. It was just a headache and a half. Oh, Boeing going down this morning. I'm just betting the futures are going to show the Dow off and the other one's up. Am I guessing right?
Yeah, you're a pretty good guesser there, Dave. We got the Dow down 0.1%. S&P 500 is up 0.5%, and the Nasdaq 100 is up 9 tenths. Russell 2000 is not up much. They're up about a little over 0.1% this morning. On the other side of the coin, we got silver bumped up 1.3% to $34.27 an ounce. Gold's up almost 0.9%. Crude oil's following suit, up almost 0.9 this morning as well at $71.38 a barrel.
I was kind of hoping you'd give me some good news on crude oil for a change. Overseas markets were looking at a negative day on the Asian Rim yesterday. They tend to follow our yesterday closes, and pretty much everything was down, not precipitously, except for a couple of the Chinese mainland markets. They were down by a full percent. So it was red ink in China, green ink in Europe. The average European index is looking at our futures and saying, oh, okay, they got their poop together. About 0.5% up across the European community halfway through their trading day. Watching this day by day is just silly if you're using it as your retirement plan. Getting a plan for making sure I can retire the way I plan to takes some expertise. How do I find you to get that expertise?
Devin, give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule their core retirement analysis, where we'll look at where they are and determine if they're on the right path to the retirement they've always dreamed of. And then this weekend, catch the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. to noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
And back here tomorrow morning about the same time on Light FM, up to the minute. Phillip, thank you, and I'll talk to you then.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
Appreciate you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope things are going well for you. If you're getting close to retirement, give us a call. Let us walk you through our core retirement design to make sure that you are on the path to the retirement you always dreamed of. The number to call is 863-382-0037. Hey, with that, have a great day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.